All right, hey folks, welcome to is it week 3 now? Crap.
I can hardly keep track, buddy.
I know. It's week 3 of Chair League, and tonight we'll be casting Deckard Pains versus Sycom eSports. And with me as always is my co-caster New Type. Welcome back, New Type.
It's good to be here as always, Synth. It's a lovely night for Chair League. Got my drink in hand. We are ready to go, and we've got two excellent teams getting ready to play here tonight. As you said, we got Deckard Pains and we got Sycom eSports. Both teams part of our professional division here in Chair League, in the Pro Division. These are the big leagues here, buddy.
Absolutely. This is exciting. So, let's see.
So, let's talk just a little bit about these teams.
Sure. Okay.
So we got Deckard Pains. Both teams played back in season 1. Both teams with very strong records back in season 1. Sycom eSports was 4-1 in season 1, and were actually semifinalists in the initial Chair League Championship, making it all the way to the round of 4 before being put out by Snipe Squad, who ended up actually winning the entire tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they got pretty damn far. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and if I remember correctly, the games they played were fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were good stuff. And in an odd little twist of fate, Sycom eSports actually played Snipe Squad right now, recently in season 2 here. They were actually, I think, last week's victims, and Sycom eSports brought the pain, got a little bit of revenge, and was able to beat Snipe Squad 2-0, and set themselves up really nicely in this second season here. They are a 2-0 record and are looking to continue that win streak here tonight. And on the other side of the equation, we've got Deckard Pains here tonight. So Deckard Pains is as I said, another historic team here. They've been here for a while, and they had a 3-1 record last year. Also falling to Snipe Squad, or last season, also falling to Snipe Squad in their second match back in February. So we're seeing, some shared antagonism against Snipe Squad here tonight, but that's going to have to be channeled into other outlets here. Deckard Pains with a 1-1 record. Their first game this season was against 4 white guys and an Asian, and they lost. Their second game was against adults with jobs, and they did win that one. So, not quite the pristine record, but they're grizzled, they're dented, they're ready. They've tasted defeat this season, and they know that they can power through it. So, let's see, what they bring to the table here. Let's see what the, kind of maps or matches, they go with here today. I mean, as far as map picks so far this season, both teams seem to have some favorites, both in terms of maps that they pick and heroes that they play. And I think we'll get into that, as we get closer to the draft.
Mm-hmm. So I just got contact with both team captains. We'll shortly get a map pick, and we're soon to get started here. This is exciting. It's always fun to cast pro division matches. Not only because they're best of 3, but I mean, it's just interesting to see the variety and comps that these guys play. So guys and gals play.
The quality,
yes,
the quality kicks up so dramatically in the Pro Division. It's a real treat to play, and you have some teams in the Pro Division here that are scratching onto, they're on the heels of actual, professional level.
Oh, absolutely.
Qualifier level teams. A lot of these Pro Division teams are qualifier level teams. So,
not to mention Rafflecopter subbing in on season 1. That was a little bit crazy, to say the least. I was like, is that? There were so many people who were like, is that really Rafflecopter? Like the Rafflecopter? And yeah, it was. So,
So, Deckard Pains is our home team here tonight, so they're going to have the first ban and the first pick in the draft. But as a result, Sycom eSports will have the initial decision on which map they play. Any thoughts from what we've looked at with Sycom? Any predictions?
well, it's hard to predict when you actually know the answer. So,
you could have played me right there. That was your chance. Could have been like, well, I've got an idea.
Yeah. So the map tonight will be Cursed Hollow. At least the first map tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and get our teams assembled here.
Excellent.
And we'll go ahead and get this party started shortly.
All right. And while Cyntha's getting that squared away, you guys are stuck with me here. So it's New Type's traditional pre-match whiskey. We're drinking the Macallan 12-year again. That seems to be reserved for the Pro Division matches. It's a really nice single malt. Feel free to send the check in the mail, Macallan Distillery. So, cheers, everyone. I hope all of our viewers, wherever you are, hopefully relaxing and having a nice little drink of your own potentially, or something else.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what it's all about: just kicking back and watching some fun games.
Absolutely, this is exciting, and I'm always just so excited to cast these games. And let's see here. Oops. Wait, what happened here? Did somebody leave? Okay, got it.
There we go.
All right.
Just hashtag custom game problems.
Yeah. So, anything? So let's talk about the map pick here.
We know the map. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's talk about picks on this map. So, Cursed Hollow. One of the best maps for. I mean, it's a good map for Global Presence heroes. It's a gigantic map, so being able to cut that distance down is a real benefit to your team. So characters like Falstad have increased value on this map. Falstad in particular has a really being able to disengage enemies off of the tribute fights, being able to interrupt tributes if it's a real emergency with Gust is a big deal. So Falstad, probably going to see factored into the draft here, either as a ban or as a pick. We might see some cheeky play with Lost Vikings or Abathur potentially. I had to go looking again here, but I do believe it was Deckard Pains who might have played TLV recently. But
TLV.
I mean, this is a map where you can get a ton of value with TLV if your team is smart and knows how to play it. Being able to stall out those tribute fights could pay dividends in the late game if your team gets a big enough lead with XP soaking via those Vikings.
Yeah, getting value from soaking is really important on this map, especially because you got these really long phases between the curse spawns. Well, there can be pretty long phases, and I'm sorry.
I mean, there's other things to consider too. I mean, there's the double bosses, so being able to burn those out if you get into a situation where your team has got that edge and can safely take a boss, you've got a real easy way of applying huge amounts of pressure on two lanes. So, I mean, just from looking at previous drafts that these teams have made, I mean, I don't want to give too much away at this point, but we've got a couple ideas for what they might end up picking, what their way might be favoring, but as I said, we'll save that for the draft. And from what I can see here, it looks like we're close to getting started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to switch one of the team members around, and then I think we're just waiting on their fifth, Sycom's fifth. So we'll get this draft started shortly here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, might as well transition us over to the draft picking screen here. Oh, so Cursed Hollow is one of my favorite maps. Absolutely, it's being able to capitalize on that curse phase. Oh, and you know what? This is one of the only maps with two bosses.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a fun time to see how people react to the second boss taking, because it's one of those maps where you have a boss closer to you and then they have a boss closer to them, and it's not really a throw pit. There are throws on the map on the boss on these.
It's not as deadly as
No.
as like Sky Temple, which has that reputation of just being where games go to die, where leads go to die. But you know, yeah, the decision on whether to take an aggressive boss or a slightly less aggressive boss, the one on your side, I mean that can factor in. Another thing is discipline with taking tributes. When do you really want to commit to taking a tribute, and when can you actually sack one or two and get more soak, or take a merc camp, or push a lane? So depending on how this game plays out, depending on how whether or not one team gains a lead or loses a lead early, we'll see more committed fights over those tributes, or less committed fights over those tributes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be really interesting to see how the strategy goes, because if you go for this map is so big too. It's one of the largest maps that's in the rotation, and well, in general, and that presents the ability for really weird soaking comps like TLV, or the Lost Vikings.
I mean, we might see Dahaka, we might see Brightwing, we might see a lot of really global heroes to help cut down on that map size.
Global heroes are so scary. From experience.
For those of you who missed it, Synth and I are on a chair league team that got our butts kicked by a global comp. It wasn't pretty.
Oh my gosh.
Please do not go looking for the VOD, but do go looking at the draft, which is starting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Deckard Pains, as we noted, first ban and the first pick. What's your gut telling you, Synth?
Either if they don't ban Falstad, they're picking him. That's period.
Tracer is banned out, so just getting that off the table immediately. That character is annoying, so annoying to deal with. And let's see what the response is from Sycom eSports. There's so many characters that have just great potential on this map. It's kind of difficult to pick one this early.
Yeah,
and they ban the Falstad.
Okay, so Falstad's out. They might pick up Zagara. Then Zagara is very effective on this because she grants so much sight and the ability to there's every curse, or every objective has around 2 points to enter and exit, left and right basically, and to be able to capture the sight for one side of that is just so effective. And Deckard Pain already running into their pool a little bit here.
They're thinking hard about this one. I mean, because Sycom gets a pretty sizable. They get the next 2 picks, and they're going with Thrall. Deckard Pains does. So not unusual for them. Recently, in their last game versus Adults with Jobs, we did see a Thrall get played. So they are comfortable with that. They are comfortable with that team.
I really like these team names. They're just fantastic.
No. You gotta love the creativity of the Heroes community to come up with some really goofy names. There's some really great names out there. And
we see a Kael'thas pickup. Wow.
Yep. Okay. Kael'thas, recently retuned. Or actually, recently retuned.
Yesterday.
Man, those notes. And we're going to see if that affects the build. I mean, some of the popular ones have been Flame Strike based or the D passive based. So we'll see if we go that route. And Tyrande also picked up.
So new type, we've done it. It's finally here. It's the age where Rhaegar and Li Ming do not see any attention in the first round.
It only took like 2.5 months.
And 2 new heroes. Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous. All
right, so next 2 coming from Deckard Pains. Do you think they pick the tank up here? So So to let the cat out of the bag, in the last 4 matches, the 2 between Sycom eSports and the 2 for Deckard Pains, both teams have picked Muradin as their main tank. Sycom eSports has played Muradin for 4 games in a row in this Season 2 of Chair League, and Deckard Pains has 2 games, at least on record, where they played Muradin. So Muradin is picked up by Deckard Pains. I really want to see what the response is, what other tank is picked up for Sycom.
Yeah, this is exciting. They're running really low on time here.
Yes, they are. So they go with the Tassadar, another comfort pick for Deckard Pains. They've in their game against Adults with Jobs, we saw this Muradin Thrall Tassadar lineup consistently, and they switched it out with Sonya as well for their second game against Adults with Jobs. So this seems to be a composition that Deckard Pains is really comfortable with as we enter the second round of bans here.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Tassadar also grants a lot of sight around those bushes. This might be great for those engages and the walls, man. Mm-hmm. Just blocking off one side, giving that extra few seconds to be able to pick. It's really good.
I mean, this Tassadar really helps with entry into contested areas and defensive contested areas. Mm-hmm. He's great for both. Okay, is this lane is this aisle safe for us to proceed through to get to the tribute? Is it or is it not? Diablo banned out by Deckard Pains.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that, buddy?
The APOC is
a global. It's a global interrupt.
Yeah.
So it does give them a sort of get out of jail free card if they're at a position at a tribute and need to buy a couple more seconds. So I can see that being useful, but I mean Diablo on his own, I'm kind of surprised that one got banned.
Yeah.
So we do see the Sonya picked up by Sycom eSports, and let's see here. Do you think they're gonna take a second support to support the Tyrande, or do you think Tyranda's gonna be our solo support here?
This is actually a map where I can see Tyranda's solo support abilities actually shining a little bit. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of room to disengage on a lot of fights. There's not really tight corridors, not really, and so you don't usually need the burst healing. The emergency, get out of jail free cards that you see with Uther and Rhaegar.
And so we see the stitches.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. You've got Tyrande to potentially mark targets, and stitches is really handy on this map if you are expecting to be the aggressor on tributes. Stitches entry into tribute fights, always dangerous because you know where at least one person on their team is going to be. And, I do like this pick, especially coupled with Tyrande. There's so much crowd control on Sycom eSports. They have Sonya with the spear for a brief interrupt. They have Kael'thas with the Netherwind to interrupt. You also have Tyrande and Stitches with their respective stuns and pulls. So I like what I'm seeing from Sycom eSports. They're building a composition where they will get to the tribute fight a little bit late, take a pick, and then steamroll with the 4v5.
Yeah, so dual support on Deckard Pain's side.
Interesting.
This is turning out to be very interesting here.
They go with Raynor for their last one.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had to have. They needed some damage. I mean, with Thrall being their only damage, they needed something reliable. Now, the problem is, I don't know if Deckard Pains has enough damage on this map.
There's a lot of HP on Stitches that they have to burn through, and there's a lot of HP on Sonya. Who's going to be, likely taking some self-sustained talents to help, alleviate some of the Tyrande heals, get them used elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Who's the last DPS for Sycom, or do they not take a DPS?
They might take a. Oh, do you think we actually? You know what?
Do you think who'd be great?
Brightwing.
I was thinking somebody like Zool, another close range guy, but Rhaegar is another really good pickup here.
Okay.
Dual support. They do see dual support from Sycom eSports, with Tyrande likely now going for a damage-based Starfall build, especially since that talent at level 20 has now been adjusted and corrected. With Rhaegar likely going to be the mainline support with ancestral healing.
Oh no! Do you think we'll see his
Bloodlust?
other Bloodlust? Do you think we'll see Bloodlust on this? I mean. I could definitely. Although Taranda's Starfall
It does a lot of damage now, dude.
Taranda's Starfall. I mean,
it does a lot of damage now.
Yeah, it really does. Oh my
so
gosh.
Both teams with double support. Both teams with really, really, really long-term fight potential here. You've got Sonya with no mana bar, very frustrating to kill. You've got Thrall, who basically, as long as he has mana, is impossible to kill. And you've got Murden and Stitches, two of the beefiest tanks that you can expect to find on any map. So this is gonna be a rough one, Synth.
Oh my gosh.
What's your gut tell you? Who do you give the edge to here, just off the bat?
I'm actually gonna have to go towards Sycom on this one. I don't know if Deckard Pains has enough damage. We've played on comps like this before. New type. The lack of finisher really hurts in the in that department. Only having 2 real DPS. I mean, Tastar does clear waves like a boss.
I mean, if he decides to go Archon instead of Force Wall, which is possible, I mean, you're seeing a big uptick in damage there.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen an Archon in a very long time. The only Archon I've seen is Li Ming's, and that one's not a good ability. I'm sorry to say that that Archon makes you a standing target. So
I'm a filthy Raynor fanboy. So
okay.
I'm gonna put my chips on Deckard Pains.
All right. Well, we are ready to roll into the game 1 of best of 3 here, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and transition us here. Wrong one. Just transition us to the correct overlay here.
And so we will do the actual team introductions when we zone into the game. So once again, our map, Cursed Hollow, one of the old standbys. You see a lot of teams favoring the Diablo maps lately, but Cursed Hollow, one of the old greats. The gimmick on this map, tributes spawn periodically. The first one spawns at around the 2-minute 30 mark, give or take about 20 seconds. And you fight over these. It takes a couple seconds to channel and collect one. And after collecting 3, your opponent structures shut down temporarily, and your opponent minions are reduced to 1 hit point. So it gives you a huge potential to push down lanes and secure some more XP for your team. So zoning in here on the left-hand side, in the blue trunks, we have Deckard Pains. On the Tassadar, Dartmouth. On the Murden, Kayon. On the Thrall, we have Ace Gamer 92. Playing Lieutenant Morales, we have Alopex. And on the Raynor, we have Swaggleby. And on the right-hand side here, in the dashing red flavor, we've got Sycom eSports. We got Fate on the Stitches, Reball on the Rhaegar, Zalron's on the Sonya, Prince on Tyrande, and Ayuda on the Kael'thas.
All right, and we have our traditional Pro League dance in the middle here. Although that was a very short-lived dance.
Yeah, no, it was a quick step. It was a quick step, my friend.
Yeah. Somebody stepped on some toes and they split. So,
Sycom eSports still showing some pressure in middle here. Stitches with a blind hook to try and pick off some of the back line, but no can do. And it looks like they're still going to pressure a bit here in mid, try and make something of the hero pressure that they've got here.
Mm-hmm. And Tassadar are doing a great job of starting to clear at bottom here. Rhaegar going down to meet him. Rhaegar, great counter to Tassadar.
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as wave clear goes, Rhaegar and Tassadar are some of the better supports in the game for managing their own lanes. So, this is a good setup so far.
Yeah, and Stitches is really just trying to cap that one person.
He catches Raynor, but Murden is able to jump in and peel a little bit of that off. But Raynor also still kind of stuck, taking huge amounts of damage from Tyrande and Kael'thas, and is eventually brought down by that living bomb.
For a great first blood there. Yeah, the Tyrande very dangerous in the early game here, being able to make the other team take 25% more damage on a focused target. That is just the healing's just not there at the moment, and Morales especially is actually really susceptible to Stitch's pulls out of range.
And there's just a heap of crowd control on Sycom eSports. Interrupting Morales is actually a phenomenal thing to do because it does reset her heal and make it inoperable for a handful of seconds. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but and the other thing about Morales is aside from her W, she doesn't have really like a get out of jail heal the same way that like Rhaegar does, or even Malfurion has tranquility for when things get really ugly. Morales doesn't have that. Doesn't have a response to a mark. So, we'll have to see how it goes. Both teams sort of just jockeying around at the moment. Both teams fairly even in XP, despite that initial early kill from Sycom eSports. So we're hitting the 2-minute 30 mark. So we should be coming close to a tribute phase relatively soon, within the next couple of seconds here. And depending on where this comes up, it does pop at bottom. So. Muradin and Sonya are going to be a little bit late to the party as both teams start cycling down. Muradin getting a little bit of a head start there. So, this is a scary part when you're not really sure where the opposing team might be, and they've got characters like Stitches and Muradin who are able to lock you down. Huge amounts of damage going out from a flame strike by Kael'thas. That's popped off real quickly there. And both teams just pressuring over this tribute fight here.
Yep, and Stitch is rotating around the front line, but Sonya is getting really low there and picked off as a result of staying in too long, a little too long there. Even though she was late to rotate down, they really just focused on her, and Sycom has to give up the first tribute as a response.
Both teams 1-1 here. It's going to take a quick peek at the talents, see what we got going on here. Rhaegar taking a full Wolf build, it looks like, from Sycom eSports, taking Wolf Run at level 1. That'll help him with, rotating over to these tribute fights even more quickly. We're seeing Warpaint standard stuff from Sonya. Tyrande going with an Owl build, starting with Empower at level 1. And Kael'thas taking Convection. So we're seeing some gutsy Convection play from Kael'thas. So far, I'm going to try and keep an eye on the number of stacks that Kael'thas maintains throughout the game here, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you can definitely see it in the positioning. He's definitely staying behind the walls, taking the safe routes, although going in a little early there. Oh, look at that. Checking the bush there. I mean, he's just really trying to work up those stacks there.
Yeah, both teams now at level 7. Taking their level 7 talents. We're seeing Cleanse from Rhaegar. No pick yet. Battle momentum for the Tyrande. No surprise there.
Stitch is a little bit out of position, taking a lot of damage from Raynor there.
But Raynor also himself now kind of behind enemy lines and kind of out of position to support this.
Yeah, he's going to try to rotate and do a pinch, but he is in a bad spot there, especially with the sheer amount of damage Sonya can put out, as a burst there. And Tassadar without the race car build yet. Going really low and going down from a Tyrande. Wow. But
Stitches with the interrupt. Morales is totally pinned in there and is blown up. Oh,
wow.
This is where Stitches shines on this map. This exact location actually gives him a primo spot to pull a target and absolutely obliterate them. And it's just cleanup right now for Sycom.
Oh, Ayuda running pretty low there on HP, almost losing his convection stacks.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent work from Fate to keep the team, together and to get that hook.
Yeah, that hook. That hook is devastating.
It really is, and Deckard Pains is going to have to adjust how they approach these tributes, because if they're the first who arrive at these tribute fights, they're the ones who are going to get picked by hooks, and they're the ones who are going to end up, with the 4v5 situation. It's just too easy to hook into an active tribute and get a free pick.
Absolutely, yeah. And Fate was really pushing up ahead there in a little bit of a dangerous spot, unsupported, but luckily the rest of the team was not there to capitalize on that for him, for Stitches. But in the meantime, 2 siege giants took out the towers at bottom. I don't know if you saw that. But
Deckard Pains down a pair of towers.
Yeah, that was really good timing on the siege camp. I actually did not notice when they took that, so great on them for that. But the good old dance of the solo laners at top, Thrall versus Sonya, the dance of the immortals.
And This one's going to be sketchy if Deckard Pains tries to get involved in this fight. Sycom eSports with the level 10 heroics. We're seeing Putrid Bile, Ancestral Healing, Leap, Starfall, and Phoenix. So tons of damage, even more lockdown and crowd control available to them.
Yeah, you definitely predicted the Starfall there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That might be just the new way to play Tyrande right now. I think her time as a solo support, while it's still like viable, I think her ability as a duo support is where it's really going to shine.
And looks like they're starting the boss here. I don't know if this is just pushing on that level 10 talent advantage, but
I mean, they have the mark from Tyrande, so they're going to be able to bring it down a little bit faster, and they still have 2 members soaking in mid and top, so they're not going to lose out too much XP from the bot lane there. But Deckard Pain's able to catch up now with XP, and we're seeing Force Wall, Avatar, Sundering, Stim Drone, and Hyperion.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous
classic stuff. And oh my goodness, so Raynor caught and blown up under the Withering Starfall and Phoenix. And, it's a general retreat for Deckard Pains. Stitches catches Morales in the hook, stunned and blown up. Excellent work there. The synergy between Ayuda and Prince with the Starfall, the Phoenix, and all of those angry red circles that those characters are able to employ are really, winning them that fight, getting them that early Raynor kill. And, they've also got a boss pushing now. They got a boss
and Tasser, barely escaping there. Actually not escaping. He is dead. Tasser getting blown up by the four team after getting pulled by Stitches' hook there.
Yeah, no, and so they've got a boss pushing. They've got the talent tier advantage in just a few seconds. They've got the curse active for another 45 seconds here. Everything working out in Sycom eSports' favor. Deckard Pains right now, they've got to hunker down. They've got to deal with this boss at top, which is just going to be brought down by Ace Gamer in a second here. And they're going to have to find a way to claw back into this as Sycom eSports is rotating down now to continue the push started by Rhaegar here.
Yeah, what a reign of terror here. So it looks like they're getting in position to take that boss right after this this curse is over. That is great timing. Basically take down this this keep. This fort? This building?
This building? We established this last week. They're all buildings.
Yeah,
so, with Tassadar down, Deckard Pains is a man short, so they feel comfortable taking the boss right now, and this is a really good time to take it at the, the end of the curse phase. You get the damage in that you want for free under the curse, and then you get this extra boss damage. And once again, we see a lot of angry circles going out.
That leap!
Caught out.
Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. That leap was so good. Oh my gosh! It just caught 3 of their members out, stunned them, and 2 of them went down as a result of that.
You think we're going to see Ariat Crater at 20? There are a lot of characters in Deckard Pain's lineup that do not have a Bolt of the Storm style escape.
That is scary. That is scary to think about. I don't even know if we're going to see 20. I was going to predict a long game on this, but I didn't want to say it. This is scary. With the boss pushing bottom at 15 to 12 talent, with the talent tier advantage, they're about to. They might actually hit 16 here shortly. Although, no, I think it'll be 15 to 13. But still, very dangerous here on Sycom's side.
Ancestral goes off to keep Fate in the fight, and he does rotate off to get topped off. Ace Gamer goes down, and it looks like Sycom is gonna just make it out with all 5 members.
Yeah, I was gonna say
put on a lot of damage to that keep, and the Phoenix may get the keep. Someone needs to stay in the. Okay, good.
Yeah, they keep barely surviving, but I was gonna say Rhaegar's mana was running really low there, as well as Tyrande's. So
yeah, it was the appropriate time to make a run for it. No doubt.
And interestingly enough, they're not backing up. They were trying to see if they could get a pick here. I don't know if that was whether the shot caller couldn't decide or they were making.
It was the Chinese bush meta.
Oh, okay. So they're gonna pick up some sight here from the Mercs in mid, and then looks like it's gonna be time to paint the map your respective color.
Yeah, both teams at this point, not a lot to be gained from Sycom, overextending into other lanes. So they're just going to kick back. They're going to take Mercs. And here comes another tribute. And Sycom in great position to already pick this tribute up. I wonder if Deckard Pains is going to make an effort, to contest this. I don't know if they're going to.
No, you're a talent tier behind.
No way.
16-13. There's no way you can contest this. Oh my gosh!
Pick on Morales, and that is all she wrote.
Wow, that was so good. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that just happened.
So, I mean, when there's stitches on the opposing team, you got to keep that in mind. You got to keep that a minion between you and, whatever potential location that he might be hiding. And
yeah, this might be a team wipe. Oh my gosh, the team Deckard Pains is completely split up at this point, and and you got this death ball in the middle here. There's very little Murden can do to do anything about this, actually.
He's just sitting there with Avatar State popped, not really able to do, as you said, anything. So huge amounts of damage. I mean, the one positive in that is that Deckard Pains does have camps that got some time to push during that team fight, so they're going to get a little more XP from that topside siege camp. But that's a very thin silver lining on a currently cloudy situation for Deckard Pains. Sycom eSports picking up another tribute. They're now 2 of 3. The next one is going to be on bottom. Tributes never spawn 3 in a row on any sort of north or south side. Mm-hmm. So last 2 tributes are on top. Next tribute's going to be on bottom. And unless Deckard Pains can pull something off here, that one may also go in favor of Sycom eSports. And, that's got game-ending potential right there.
Yeah, it's 18-15 right now. That is a great time to pick up a boss. Mm-hmm. They're just going to be picking up the boss on cooldown at this point, leaving the boss to do his thing up top lane. They'll probably look for a gank in response.
Yeah, they're prepping with the stitches. They're going to grab vision from this watchtower, and anyone still in the neighborhood is going to get hooked.
Oh, and that's Tassadar. Tassadar.
Narrow miss.
Oh, I was going to say that would have been a kill on. Well, Tassadar is so hard. Oh my gosh! And a 4-man leap.
4-man leap with everything dumped on it. We have Kilthos Phoenix. We have Starfall. We have so many red circles dumped on that leap, and Deckard Pains evaporating.
Yeah, that's
it's hard to really There's not much you can do. You got stunned, and now you're screwed, buddy.
Yeah. Wow.
So, absolutely phenomenal synergy between Prince and Ayuda. Again, timing both their heroics at the exact same time for maximum area of effect damage, and that is it. Elvis has left the building. Sycom eSports with the first win of the evening, taking a lead in this series 1-0.
Yeah, what an exciting game. The boss is doing so much damage through the top lane and really just destabilizing Deckard Pains here. So crazy stuff going on. Give me 1 second to transition back here. Oh, so what's the takeaway here?
What's the takeaway here? If you have a good Tyrande on your team, and you have a good Kael'thas on your team, if you can get them to time their ults at the same time, the amount of damage that they can put in a localized area is absurd.
Oh, absolutely.
31,000 damage for Tyrande. She did more damage. She did more damage than the Thrall got to do on Deckard Pains. Like, she was off by a scant handful, couple hundreds of damage. Absolutely wonderful stuff. I really liked seeing the pairing of Sonya and those two.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if we had made it to 20, the potential for Ariat Crater would have been absolutely gigantic. Maybe not, but the Morales was a primo pick with no mobility options to really, set aside and focus down on that. As far as Deckard Pains, I just feel like some of them, the Morales was in a tough position. The Morales was sort of the primo pick for Stitches every single hook, and it feels like every time Fate tried to get a hook on Elopex, they got it. Fate was nailing hooks left and right, and they were securing so many blow-ups. It was really making Deckard Pains' engagements difficult. And I feel like, that one initial fight, that I think it was the second tribute, where they kept sort of, going back in and back in and back in, and Sycom picked up, I think, 4 kills in that fight. I think there's a point where you got to just call it a day and go home and not feed them too many, because that gave Sycom the earlier level 10. That gave Sycom an earlier opportunity to go for the boss. It gave them a lot of options with that extra level and a half.
Absolutely.
So,
it was scary. I mean, they really were not able to catch back up. It was a bit of a snowball there. Just running. I mean, they were trying to soak a little bit. They were trying to defend, but they were just on the back foot the entire time afterwards.
There was so much crowd control from Sycom eSports. Every single character in their lineup has some form of movement inhibition.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them. And as soon as Stitches got that hook, it was you were basically guaranteed dead unless you were murdered.
Oh my gosh, that was so many hooks. I mean, in a 15-minute game, I think I saw 4 or 5 blow-up hooks. I mean, that's just, there are some games that don't even go for that many kills. And Deckard Pains really unable to catch back up on the 4v5s, with, I mean, you can see it right there. Thrall getting the only pick from Deckard Pains' side.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're going to move into the next map, and the roles have now flipped. So Deckard Pains will now be picking our second map, and it will be Sycom eSports that has the first ban and the first pick.
All right, and we got a decision here from Deckard Pains. It's going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen. So that's exciting here. Another one of my favorites, another one of the old standbys, and definitely a different map entirely, because there's this is not a point objective. The turn-in's a point, but
no, I mean, the turn-in is a point, but you're only going to be there for a couple handful of seconds, and it's not like the entire focus of everyone on both teams is going to be funneled into this one spot, at least not frequently. And I mean, it's not going to be one of those situations where it's not going to be one of those situations where global heroes are going to have that much more value than sort of standard heroes. So a healer like Brightwing, who is worth even more on big maps, may not be as valuable as a hero like Uther, who may have a little more utility, but a little slower in terms of mobility. Tomb of the Spider Queen, it's all about the wave clear, and it's all about those tight rotations, getting from lane to lane with your 4-man group or your 3-man group potentially. Trying to secure a pick, trying to disrupt your opposing rotations, and getting those big turn-ins, getting those money turn-ins. Given what we just saw, what do you think in terms of draft picks? Who's going to be in contention on this map?
Well, I definitely think there's going to be a respect ban on Sonya.
Sonya, yeah. I mean, Sonya definitely is a character that gets a lot of mileage on this map.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say Sonya, or do you think Kael'thas is going to also get picked off?
I think the leaps were really, really nasty.
They were dirty, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it was just it was difficult to recover from that. I mean, they were never able to have a full fight. I don't think there was a 5-on-5, to be completely honest with you.
There were very few engagements that were sort of unilateral. Like but yeah, you're correct. Both teams were in situations where Sycom would get the pick, and then Deckard Pains would have to just sort of deal with it, and that's a hard thing to deal with.
Yep. So just getting the lobby set up here for Tomb of the Spider Queen Game 2. Deckard Pains versus Sycom eSports, and we'll see how once we get this lobby going, we're gonna get the draft going, and we'll see how the teams shape up. So,
I gotta say, I really liked that Kael'thas Tyrande synergy. It was really, really, really apparent, really devastating. Kudos to both those players for sort of putting on a clinic there. I mean, the damage was great, and being able to follow up on a Sonya stun, absolutely wonderful. I'm gonna be stealing that. I'm gonna be stealing that for my games.
well, the portrait synergy is also in play here.
I'll give that one a big thumbs up.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, lobby's filling up here, and we'll shortly get the draft going here. Somehow Deckard Pains is already ready. I don't know if did the captain's URLs show up on their chair league page. I actually don't know. So, all right. Let's see here. Oh, sorry. All right. So, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get the page up. Looks like we're already up on the stream here. A little ahead of the game here. Guess I just need to send out the right link here.
Yep. And it does look like they're just about set. And welcome again to all of our wonderful viewers. We're just getting things squared away here for Game 2 of Deckard Pains versus Sycom eSports. I'm New Type, he's Synth Paradox, and this is Whiskey League. I mean, Chair League. While Synth is negotiating with the team captains, we're going to talk a little bit about tonight's drink, which is the Macallan 12-year. And you're all stuck with me. You're stuck with me here, gushing about single malt scotches. So
I love single malt scotches. So yeah, don't even get me started on those two. But yeah, our draft is up and ready to go here. So we got Sycom eSports picking first here because Deckard Pains had the pick of the map, and Falstad actually might not be contested
this time. So it is Zagara. Not a surprise. I mean, she's just a good hero. She's got a reasonable enough wave clear. And there's the Kael'thas respect ban. As I said, doing so much work last game, disrupting so many things. They put him out fast. Just so much wave clear, so much interrupt. That character is so good right now. It's scary.
And both of his ultimates, are just
they're both usable. They're both
very usable. Super Jove asks how old of a single malt scotch you're whisking.
This is the 12-year Macallan. So here, we have the 12-year Macallan. Approximately. Yes.
So first pick Zool on Sycom eSports side. They're going for a long game here. I'm guessing.
I mean, Zool has a place in either sort of role on this map. He's a great solo laner. He's got the means. He's got the wave clear to fight, a solo lane. But he's also got the lockdown for like the gank squad. So either role that he ends up in, Zool is a strong pick on this map. And we see Li Ming picked up by Deckard Pains, and I mean that's it for their mage, unless they want to go 2 mage, which would be kind of funky.
Well, with enough stuns, you could go 2 mage on this. I mean, if you can. Are we gonna see Diablo Tyrande on Deckard Pains?
Oh, the Lord of Terror is coming out to play, and we'll have to see. I do not know.
Yeah, that seems.
That pick's interesting to me. Again, this is one of those situations where there's enough sort of chokes in this map for lightning breath to be handy, and the sort of global turn-in nature of it means that a timely apocalypse can help save the bacon. We see Thrall picked up by Sycom eSports and Tyrande as well. They really, really favor that Tyrande, and it'll likely be effective again. It certainly was last game. Do you think we're going to see double support again?
With that comp, I can't say that I would be pro double support on Sycom's side.
Well, we're entering the ban phase here. One team already having chosen its tank. Deckard Pains with the first ban here. Do we start banning out tanks?
I could definitely see a Johanna ban here. Johanna being very good, but the Stitches
the double respect ban. Kael'thas and Stitches banned by Deckard Pains in direct response to the previous game that they were on the receiving end of some really scary Kael'thas and Stitches plays. So we're gonna be having none of that today.
So do you think they're gonna pick up Sonya?
Deckard Pains or Sycom eSports?
Either.
I would be really, really shocked if Sonya came out on Sycom eSports. I think they've got that role covered already with Thrall.
Mm-hmm.
For Deckard Pains, that's got potential. Sylvanas is banned by Sycom eSports. I like this one, actually.
Yeah. No, she's still good. She is still good, and she has a newly redesigned alt.
I like this one specifically because of the alt. So far, 2 of Sycom's most potent characters are melee characters or close-range characters that can be very easily picked up with a mind control, brought back into your own lines, and nuked. So
I was going to say, Sylvanas into Dibbles, into anything. I mean, like, that is the essential, Stitches hook, except very...
very, very, very... It just takes a lot of levels to get it. It's a very long unlock on that Stitches hook. So we see Uther picked up from Deckard Pains. So...
Yeah, I'm not seeing a double support as a response to that. That's... I don't know. It just doesn't feel...
You think Diablo's got what it takes to solo tank for this team?
Well, this map allows... It is a smaller map, and it allows you to take advantage of the... his wave clear is actually fairly good.
It's okay for it's okay for a tank.
Well, it allows him to get back his stacks pretty quickly, and if he goes for a soulstone, whatever, a heavy soulstone build.
We see Tychus brought out by Deckard Pains. Interesting pick. These are 4 characters that I don't think I've ever seen together in one lineup here. So we're gonna have to see how effective this is. Tychus, in his recent redesign, is basically the be-all, end-all tank killer.
Yeah, but like, are they going for double tanks? Do you think they're trying to prevent a double tank pick from Sycom? Because Sycom hasn't picked a single warrior yet,
and they're down to their last 2 picks.
Mm-hmm. So
right now, their composition is fairly short-ranged. We see the Muradin pick up. As I noted in the first game, both these teams love Muradin.
Mm-hmm. But Muradin got to the last round of picks.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I guess they're not locked into Muradin as much as their match history seems to indicate. But I think Deckard Pains is hiding something. I mean, this sort of build, like, I can't... There's something that goes with it, and I can't really tell what. It has to be...
I mean, they've got some lockdown with Diablo and Uther. They've got some repositioning tools with Tychus. Li Ming is Li Ming. I mean, she really doesn't require any explanation.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like talent synergies. I'm trying to think of some other...
Maybe a Murky?
I mean, Tychus has very good wave clear, which he's got that going for him. Their team kind of needed a little bit more wave clear. Li Ming has passable wave clear, but not nearly as good as Kael'thas or Jaina's. And
Tracer.
we see Tracer.
Oh my gosh!
By Sycom eSports, Tracer comes out, and and the cavalry is here. So
no, you have to do the accent.
oh, okay, hang on. I need a little more scotch for this one. Cheers, love. The cavalry's here.
Yeah, you don't want to hear my accent. No.
Yeah, no.
No.
For those of you at home, never ever ask Centaur Paradox to do any accents ever if you want.
And Rexar for the final pick. Oh my gosh!
I'm done.
It's fake. It's fake Tracer. When Top Drafter didn't have Tracer, Rexar was the Tracer pick. I'm speechless.
I'm done. Show me them Pog champs in Twitch chat. I got nothing right now. I'm done.
And actually, I think Sycom is a little shell shocked as well.
That was a mispick. That was a mispick. Clearly.
Oh my gosh. Oh. I mean, Rexar did see some buffs recently. I don't understand.
Well, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, we'll see how they go.
We're gonna find out what happens here when probably the most played character right now ends up facing the least played character right now on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. All I have to say, I guess, is please have a good skin for this, because
are you looking at these right now?
Oh
They're
my gosh,
fantastic.
Yeah, these are fantastic skins. I'm actually going to shift the overlay over so that you guys can see some of the sick skins being picked up here.
We got Fested Tychus, we got Angelic Diablo.
And all the bear puns coming out.
Oh, yes, shower us with bear puns. Do it.
Oh, I can barely contain my excitement. God, yes, please. I love them. Keep going. I actually have a We Bear Bears shirt on. Look, hold on. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. We're doing this. Let's go. It is time.
Yeah, all characters have indicated that they're ready. I don't even know what to say. I can't wait to actually see Rexar talents. We get to see what they actually do.
I don't know any of them. What are they?
It's just gonna be a wild one.
Oh well, it is a wild. It's a wild. Never mind. I couldn't go further with those. All of his talents are wild.
Yeah.
And he's gonna throw some birds at you, throw some bears at you. Poor Misha.
Yeah.
So who won this draft?
Who won this draft? I'm gonna go with Sycom. I mean, they just got something that looks like it gels fairly nicely, but Deckard Pains, they got Rexar, dude. So as we zone in here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, on the left-hand side here in the blue, we've got Sycom eSports. We got on the left here on the blue, we've got Deckard Pains. Oh, I'm getting my stuff mixed up. On the left hand, on the blue here, we got Deckard Pains. We got Dartmouth on the Tychus, Kaon on the Rexar, Ace Gamer on the Diablo, Swaggleby on Li Ming, and Alloplex on the Uther. And on the right-hand side here in the red trunks, we have Sycom eSports. We have Fate on the Muradin, Reball on the Tyrande, Ayuda on Zul, Prince on the Tracer, and Zolrans on the Thrall.
Mm-hmm. And we have our traditional dance of the wilds here.
Muradin taking a huge chunk, but Rexar as well. Both teams jockeying for better positions, and a lot of damage went out to Sycom eSports. They're looking a little bit bruised.
Mm-hmm. But they're gonna back up and split here in a few seconds here. Just doing the traditional dance, and we'll see probably Thrall. Oh, actually, Rexar's gonna go bottom. Okay, that makes sense.
I like this decision.
Mm-hmm.
You let Misha do all the heavy lifting for you, and Rexar just chills.
Well,
or at least tries to chill.
Yeah, that's very dangerous. And the owl!
Oh, Hedwig denied by Misha, just barely getting in the way there.
Oh my gosh, and that's I mean, Misha is smart, but she is not a human player. She is a bear.
Well, let's be honest here. Misha's the hero and Rexar's the pet here.
Yeah.
Misha's doing all the heavy lifting, and unfortunately, Misha needs to hit the gym a little bit more often because the heavy lifting was not enough. And Rexar is brought down to the bot lane, forcing a rotation from Dartmouth and Swaggleby.
So a little bit of a bush meta going on here with Li Ming, a little out of position, and
he's waiting for the blink. There's the Storm Bolt, and Li Ming is gone.
Yeah, that's a little aggressive positioning, especially with a 3-on-2 there. So a little bit of a misplay there, but that's okay. It's early in the game.
The patience, bringing that Storm Bolt, waiting for the blink, and then Fate and Reball with the stun 1-2 punch. Muradin Tyrande still so scary. And here it comes again. Another drop onto Uther, almost brought down with the Tracer Bomb, but does manage to survive.
Yeah, and a lot of damage going out on from Tychus actually. That was quite interesting. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of good Tychus play, and I'm raring to see some. But oh my gosh, the Tyrande just blowing people up left and right.
Yeah, that Muradin Tyrande are just basically going around taking names and kicking asses.
Taking dog tags.
Yeah, they're taking dog tags right now. And are we going to see another pick on Li Ming? Yes, we are.
Oh.
Absolutely devastating from Reball and Fate.
Yeah.
As we pass level 4 here, just a quick peek at the talents. We're seeing Slipstream and Parting Gift from the Tracer. We're seeing Shade from the Zul. Ranger's Mark from Tyrande going sort of a heavier into the attack and the damaging build. We're seeing Healing Ward as well. Reverb and Thunderburn from Muradin, very standard, and Rolling Thunder and Ride the Lightning from Thrall. Coming in from Deckard Pains, we're seeing standard stuff from the Uther. It looks like it's going to be a Piano Key Uther build. And Diablo brought down a top. Again, another huge rotation from Sycom eSports. They are all over the map, crushing it right now.
Yeah, those are some great rotations coming out of Sycom. Just really punishing the 1-2 people in each lane. So hopefully Deckard Pains takes and learns from these mistakes here. Every single time they leave one person in a lane, they're ready to pounce and I
mean, and they're turning in.
Yeah.
They have enough at this point to initiate a Webweaver phase, and they might be getting it right now with Reball just a little bit short there, and with Prince's turn in, that might be enough, but it looks like they're going to go instead for an attack. They get some damage in on Diablo.
Oh, and a Diablo might be going down.
Zul, and is brought down under the withering fire of Tracer, Tyrande, Zul, and Muradin, and it looks like this is going to be a turn-in for Prince, and the first Webweaver phase begins for Sycom eSports.
Yep, so they're rotating back down to bottom and takes down Misha. Poor Misha. So Rexar is currently soloing.
Hero slain, Misha.
Thankfully, Rexar still has his 10 coins somehow, even though Misha was probably the one to pick them up. Just, psychically moving them over. And 4-man push at bottom here. That is very scary. They've got to rotate down. Misha is not going to survive for very long in that situation right there.
Taking a big heap of damage there from both the Webweaver and the opposing team. It's just impossible to engage into this. There's just too much damage.
And Zul doing a great job of harassing mid. Just, taking the attention of 2 heroes on Deckard Pain's side. They can't afford to have 2 heroes. And Misha going down again. Oh, poor Ragdoll physics. Just not looking like having the best day there.
Huge damage going out onto Rexar, following a blink forward from Prince and a Storm Bolt from Fate. Absolutely devastating stuff. And Deckard Pain's in full retreat at bottom. This Webweaver is going to just tickle potentially the towers. Nope, doesn't even get a chance to do that.
and taking out half of Diablo's health there in one misstep there. Stepping into the smoke and going, ooh, crap, turn around. That's the story of our games quite often.
And Sycom eSports inches away from level 20. They're going to grab it with this tower here, and we'll see what they end up picking. That's an isolation. Fate gets pulled forward here, but the damage is so huge, doesn't even matter. Down goes Diablo, and the ults are picked up by Sycom eSports. We're seeing Haymaker from Fate. He is feeling good. He's going to be punching some foos across the map. We're seeing Shadowstalk from Tyrande, Poison Nova from Zool, Pulse rounds from Tracer, and Sundering from Thrall.
Very, very standard from Thrall and Tyrande. I couldn't remember her name there. And I'm really interested to see, the level 10s from Rexar.
I feel like you've got to go with the stun, the Misha stuns. The Tracer's being an absolute nuisance, absolutely frustrating to deal with.
Yeah.
And any level of lockdown that you can get on Tracer is worth its weight in gold. Diablo gets rooted, and a ton of damage goes out onto him. Haymaker goes out and does punch Uther back into the back line of Sycom eSports. Uther does manage to sneak out with very little health remaining.
Yeah, that was actually really impressive considering they were down the ultimates right there. They actually survived without losing a single person.
And Fate is rewarded for that killer Haymaker with his own death, unfortunately. So first kill of the game secured for Deckard Pains, and they are just inching towards level 10. Be there momentarily here.
Yeah, they'll probably they definitely cannot take this fight if they pinch here, and it looks like Sycom is getting ready to pinch, so they have to be very careful here.
Huge damage goes out onto Tychus, and Tychus is gone.
Yeah, that was a really dangerous spot for Deckard Pains to be in. Without the level 10s, they were really far forward for that.
Yeah, and they still haven't gotten them. They're still waiting for that power spike, and there it is. And Deckard Pains picking out their heroic talents. We're seeing Draken Laser Drill from Tychus, Bestial Wrath from Rexar, pardon me. Apocalypse from Diablo. We're seeing Disintegrate from Li Ming, and Divine Shield from Uther.
And Sycom doing a really good job of just staying together. This is their game to lose at this point. They need to be, they're ahead, frankly, and they don't want to throw it. So this is definitely them trying to keep their positioning stable, make sure not to be caught out. And Rexar is still trying to keep their front line.
Rexar's trying to soak.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, you're almost 3 levels behind. You're 2 levels behind, almost exactly. And, you're trying to find ways to get back in the game. You have 85 gems. 85 gems. Swag will be with 36 gems. They've got to find a way to turn in.
Yeah, and this is...
And they do. Okay, they do get a good turn in. Tychus drops the Draken Laser Drill and is able to zone out Sycom eSports as they get that turn in avail to them. But, Sycom eSports will, find value somewhere on the map. They do grab the bottom siege camp, and that will help with contesting against these web weavers.
A really aggressive jump forward there, probably for the Haymaker stun, and actually...
And Fate taking a heap of damage, has to get out, and a big Poison Nova goes out, damaging almost everyone on Deckard Pains. Lots of damage goes out. Tracer is brought down, and Diablo is going to also fall, but respawn really quickly here.
Yeah, but his respawn doesn't mean that he still has to run back into the fight, and Uther is going to go down.
That is a huge amount of gems lost for Deckard Pains. They're going to collect a handful of them, but they lost a lot in taking that fight.
Yeah, and it was definitely a good decision on Sycom's part on pushing the team there back. They didn't really have much to lose in terms of the towers. They were... Are these keeps?
They're buildings.
They're buildings. Thank you. They are ahead by 3 buildings. I can count as well. They didn't really have much to fear there in terms of losing any of their buildings. Even if they did, they're way ahead.
So yeah, Deckard Pains left with just 36 gems against the 52 currently collected by Sycom eSports. A little bit of damage going down here onto Thrall at bottom, but it's going to be another
Haymaker
for Tychus. Haymaker goes out, pushes him into
a tower.
Sycom eSports tower, and he is brought down. Poor Tychus is getting isolated in every single one of these fights because of his range, and it is absolutely crippling for that team, for Deckard Pains. We're seeing only 3 deaths. Tychus is actually right in the middle of the pack in terms of deaths. So, it's a big source of damage for Deckard Pains. It's somebody you don't want going down at the very beginning of the fight. Not when Li Ming is your next source of damage.
Yeah. So the 15-12 talent advantage is going on right now with a Webweaver push. This is a very scary situation. You definitely don't want to be caught out, and it looks like top is going to be a little caught out again. Uh-oh. Tychus going down.
Brought down again.
Yep. Laid low.
That's rough. That's so rough. They have so many tools for getting rid of Tychus quickly. If Tyrande marks and they get half of their skill shots landing, Tychus goes down.
Yeah, and Tyrande has been dead on with all of her lunar.
Yeah, really solid Tyrande play yet again from Reball.
Absolutely. So Deckard Pains finally learning their lesson a little bit.
No, it was Prince last game who was on the Tyrande. They've been switching some roles up here.
Yeah.
APOC goes out, doesn't seem to hit very many, and Diablo goes down as well as Rexar, and it's a general retreat for Deckard Pains yet again. Uther does go down and will be dropping as soon as his ghost disappears, and another kill for Li Ming, another kill on Li Ming, pardon me, as Deckard Pains is really, really, really in a sticky situation.
Yeah, this is quite scary. You're locked into your base at this point. They even tried to 4-stack, but 4v5 still not good enough, and they were a little far forward for that particular engagement. It's just, Deckard Pains is just unfortunately standing a little too close to the other team, especially with the 4-level talent disadvantage at this point.
And Tychus isolated again via a Haymaker and is blown up yet again. And Uther may be able to sneak out with just a little bit of health, having blown a couple cooldowns on himself. Oh my gosh, they're able to. The isolation against Tychus is so devastating. And against all odds, Deckard Pains maintaining all 3 of their keeps throughout that Webweaver push. So kudos to them for the defense there. They actually maintained their infrastructure for the most part.
Yep, and Swag will be trying to snipe some damage on there, and actually, unfortunately, doing some damage on the boss, and helping Sycom pick up that boss a little bit easier here. So, this might be going to core, new type. What do you think?
We'll see how much damage Deckard Pains is able to put onto this boss before Sycom engages. Not a whole lot. Sycom engages hard. Sundering goes out, catches a fair number of Deckard Pains. Diablo's forced to retreat. Uther takes the root from Zul, and there is a lot of damage going out right now.
Yeah, Uther goes down early here. And with Uther down, this is going to be a very hard fight to hold. Even though you're at base, 18-14 talent lead, this is extremely hard to hold. So, Diablo just needs to, not die here.
Yep, Diablo goes down, and that's a full death for Diablo. He's down for another 30 seconds, and Sycom very low is going to pull out here. They do not have a means of really staying in this fight, and Muradin does go down.
Yeah, and this is where you need to actually move forward and push them out and try to take some kills here. When you're 4 levels down, every single kill is worth a lot of XP. And
these are minute-long death timers right now. There's a 55-second death timer on Zul right now. So a second kill picked up for Deckard Pains as they start to claw their way, out of the hole that they're currently in.
They finally reached the same talent tier as...
Yeah, they're on the same talent tier. Their whole team is up. They've got, things swinging at least into their favor, and they've got a full turn-in available to them. Web Weavers are coming out, and they're actually, going to be fairly forward. These Web Weavers are not going to be pushed back the way they traditionally are when you're fighting this far from behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've done a great job of clearing all the way up to their point. The mercenaries in mid here are going to help mitigate a little bit of the damage, but they're going to lose this building in mid.
You cheeky. All right, so all members of Sycom going to be up momentarily. Zool hustling up to the fight. We're going to have another 5-on-5 under these Web Weavers, potentially.
And this is an equal talent tier fight. This might be our first real fight of the game.
Oh, my goodness. Deckard Pains climbing up the levels. They're making a big push of this.
Yeah, they're trying to get to 20 here. Tracer, Prince in the back,
so
just
lurking.
trying to like sneak something here. The Draken Laser doing a number on the front line here, and just really helping with this push.
Prince really doesn't have an in to the back line right there.
Mm-hmm.
So has to get back into position. Decides to instead go for that bottom Web Weaver. I mean, they're losing forts, they're losing all sorts of stuff, and suddenly Deckard Pains is formerly 3 levels behind, now just a level and a half.
Yeah, and the ult goes out from Zool there, the suicide ult traditionally.
In comes Tracer. Rexar pops Feigned Death, is just chilling out, and he's back. He's back into the fight. And unfortunately, it just wasn't quite enough for Deckard Pains, and the Diablo and Tychus brought down there, and it's going to be, once again, run for the hills as Sycom eSports pushes forward.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think of that fight? I mean, that was.
I mean, you're on even talent tiers. I haven't seen Deckard Pains take a 5v5.
Mm-hmm.
Even in some of the situations where they were like, kind of close, I haven't seen them take a 5v5 at all. So I'm wondering, I'm questioning, their decision to just stay in there. An invade coming in from Deckard Pains. They do catch a handful of Sycom, but instead they are the ones that end up going down. Li Ming blown up in an instant, and it looks like Rexar is going to follow suit. And depending on how many kills go off here, how many people from Deckard Pain go down, we might see. This might be the end of the game here.
Yeah, this is it's really.
And we're seeing members of Sycom rotate to the top lane, which is currently undefended. It's got 3 catapults pushing, and this is where you can go core, and this is where you can potentially end the game.
Yeah, so Tychus doing all he can, but he is in a bad spot. Yeah,
Tychus is gone, and that is going to be the end of the game. GGs are called out, and Sycom eSports putting on a clinic. Stay a while and listen to them defeating Deckard Pains.
Yep. And good old Deckard Cain in pain here. Dropping 0-2 in a best of 3 series to Sycom eSports. Great job from both teams. Honestly, that comeback or the attempted comeback.
The potential was there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the potential was definitely there. But absolutely devastating work from Rebel. I kept calling him Reball for the entire game. So excellent work from Rebel. That Tyrande play was absolutely just crushing. That had to be so frustrating to deal with. Every time any member of your team is stunned, they are just obliterated.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was a lot of damage.
That was the combination punches between Muradin and Tyrande, and Muradin, Tyrande, Zool. The combos that Sycom eSports were able to set up were absolutely wrecking Deckard Pain's front line and their back line as well. They got a number of picks on Tychus as part of their engagements. We're just opening of the fight. They grab Tychus, they nuke Tychus, and now it's a 4-on-5 with half of Deckard Pain's damage dealing off the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was very effective play from the Muradin from Fate. Just knocking one member of the opposing team out of the way, just removing them from the battle, making it a 4-on-5, and just really taking the 4-on-5 to the bank, in terms of just the amount of utility that brought into the game. I mean, with the Tyrande in place to take advantage of the bunching near the walls. I mean, it was just phenomenal play from both teams. Great stuff.
I have to say I'm a little I'm questioning the Li Ming build just a little bit. Li Ming taking a teleport based build with Calamity at 7, Illusionist and Diamond Skin at 13 and 16. I feel like getting close to anybody, getting close to Muradin, getting close to Zul, getting close to Tyrande was the kiss of death.
Yeah.
I mean, if you blink onto Zul and he isn't dead, you're going to get rooted. And Li Ming is one of the last people that you want to be rooted as. I mean, if you get too close to Thrall, you're going to get rooted. If you get too close to Tyrande, I mean, you're probably going to get marked, and then you're really screwed. I have to question, what the end game goal was for Swaggleby taking the teleport build against a team that could potentially just disrupt Li Ming so effectively.
Yeah, I think the teleport was taken a little more towards the soak side, only because you noticed that they were running pretty far behind in terms of the XP.
Yeah.
Early on, and they were desperately trying to catch up on the XP, and I think the teleport build was taken in response to that, and it just did not work out in the team fights. I mean, that was just in the short term, it probably kept them in the same vicinity XP wise, but all you needed really was that turnaround, and what a turnaround! I mean, that was a great. 2 kills brought you right onto the same talent tiers, and then you could actually take a fight, and they were able to take a little bit of a push there in mid, being able to push down the building and make it to the center, to the Eeps. Eeps, right?
It's a word. It begins with B. It's buildings.
So
when in doubt, go for the least common denominator.
Yep. So
what did we learn from this series? What can we take home? What can our viewers take home from this series here?
The Rexar play, I don't know if that's
It was
usable.
so fun. It was so fun to watch that get drafted.
It
but
was
at the end
great
of the day, it just didn't really contribute a ton to that map.
Yeah, unfortunately, just the positioning on Rexar with the health pool being shared between 2 bodies, Misha just was not able to do enough for the battles. And honestly, I think they were suffering a little bit from the split. Taking the early XP loss, early XP, the short end of the stick in terms of XP. They felt like they needed to soak, and the natural way to soak is to split. And Sycom just,
they really punished isolated heroes, and that's probably going to be my takeaway on this one. Is going to be, if you're going to practice as Tyrande, practice with another person that you have synergy with. Practice with somebody that you can, you can pair off with. Because the 1-2 punch that Muradin Tyrande just was so devastating in the early game for Sycom, and as they proceeded into the late game, it was also just so deadly, so much lockdown. The marks were clean and were always on appropriate targets. It was just really hard to watch, just how effectively the Tyrande was able to mop up really strong heroes. And then in the first match, we saw Tyrande paired with a Kael'thas, and the synergy between the two of them was absolutely brutal. You had, the Starfall and the Phoenix taken. You had, Kael'thas hitting his E, Tyrande following up with her E, and just whoever they caught died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really, you saw the rotations on this to be fantastic from Sycom. I mean, it was just clockwork. 3v2, 4v3, just the ability to capitalize on a short-staffed lane from Deckard Pains. uh, just phenomenal, and really, Deckard Pains suffered, needed some morphine after that.
Yeah. I mean, Deckard's he's an old fella. He's he's got a lot up in his noggin, but he's got some knobby knees that need some. He needs prescription strength aspirin. Like what kind of aspirin do you think Deckard Cain takes?
Nephilim brand.
Nephilim brand aspirin.
I don't know. I mean, how many lilies is that?
I don't know. That's a question for the chat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, really solid game. Absolutely mechanical play from Sycom eSports. Really clinical, really clean stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's got to be frustrating for Deckard Pains. They dropped to 1-2 for the season. Sycom eSports continues their dominance, 3-0 so far in the season. Bravo to them. And it's just them's the breaks in chair league. Every week, you're either going to go up one or you're going to go down one.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, the fortune favors Sycom eSports. So congratulations to them, and good luck to Deckard Pains. We hope to see them again in chair league. Hope to cast another match, hopefully for them, and wish them good fortunes in their next matches.
Absolutely. And one last thing I'd like to point out. I guess I forgot to point this out during the analysis, but the Poison Nova did a ton of damage during those fights as well. So and
that's a nice pick specifically against Uther, who does not have the most reliable area of effect heals.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his heals are single target. A lot of his heals are in like his bailouts, like Divine Shield, are single target. And the cooldowns on them are fairly long, so that's a pretty smart pick to take Poison Nova against a primarily single target healer.
Mm-hmm. So, just wanted to point that out real quick. Definitely great play from both teams. Great decision making on the Murden to capitalize on the lack of mobility from Tychus, and just great games. Scary.
Yeah,
Sycom eSports, scary team.
Sycom eSports, their reputation is deserved. Their position clearly in last season's playoffs was deserved. So, looking forward to seeing them again in the upcoming matches.
Absolutely. So, with that, don't forget to follow us if you liked our cast, and we'll see you next week. Well, yeah, I don't think we have any games scheduled for this for Friday. So, we'll see you next week.
And thank you all.